You see, a detail is given in Esther 3:7 that we often just skim right over. We read, in the 12th year of King Xerxes, in the first month, the month of Nisan, the poor, that is, the lot, was cast before Haman to determine a day and month, and the lot fell on the 12th month, the month of Adar. This calendar detail is often overlooked, but has tremendous significance. The first month, the month of Nisan, is the month of Passover. Leviticus 23, the best chapter for learning about God's calendar, tells us that the Passover to the Lord begins at twilight on the 14th day of the first month. So Haman is picking his date for the annihilation of the Jews in the same month that God brought Israel out of exile. This was during the month of redemption. Jews all over Persia would be preparing to celebrate the Passover and commemorate the Exodus from Egypt, getting ready to celebrate God's deliverance at the exact same time that Haman is plotting their ultimate demise. This detail wouldn't have been lost on Haman, and certainly not on the Jewish audience of the book of Esther. To recontextualize for us in America, this would be like the British plotting to take over America on July 1st. We'd all understand the irony with its proximity to the 4th of July, our Independence Day. Sadly, we often miss the calendar details given in the Bible, but are very familiar with the man-made holidays observed in most of the Western world. And if you're hearing this and thinking to yourself, yeah, but those aren't our holidays. We don't do Purim or Passover. The Jews have different laws than we do. Realize that you're making the same exact argument that Haman made to the king. In verse 8, Haman tells the king, there is a certain people scattered and dispersed among the peoples of every province in your kingdom. Their laws are different from everyone else's, and they do not obey the king's laws. Notice that Haman specifically targets the laws of the Jews. Haman didn't just hate the Jewish people, he hated the laws of the Jewish people. But really, whose laws were the Jews following? God's laws. God gave his law to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. The more someone follows the laws of God, the more they will be despised by the world. Hatred for the Jewish people, at its core, is a hatred for God. All anti-Semitism is rooted in a hatred for the God of Israel. This "their laws are different from everyone else's" argument worked to sway the king, and it's worked to sway many Christians into anti-Semitic theology and behaviors.